Hello guys, and welcome to episode 47 of the 10-minute modeling challenge. We're closing in on 50, and I've nearly been doing this for a year now. Some of you have asked in the past, do I prep anything for these videos? And the truth is that sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. For some of the videos, for example, the 10 cars, the rigged dragon and the rigged pirate in specific, I spent quite a lot of time trying to figure out a cool workflow that would work to make something like that in 10 minutes. So for those, I did actually sit there. Usually my daughter Emilia is trying to sleep and I'll sit on her computer a little bit and try to figure out ways while she's trying to go to sleep. And I find a technique that might work and then I try to employ that in the 10-minute videos. And for some videos, like the floating island, for example, I just winged it. So some of the episodes, if it's something that looks like it was quite difficult to make, then I probably practiced a little bit. And if it looks like rubbish, like most of the videos, then I didn't really practice that much. And this week I was going to make a transformer. I think I even promised it near enough. And I'm not the one to break promises, but this one I'm going to break. At least for the time being. I'm going to do a transformer at some point. Thought about different techniques how to do it. Turns out that folding a robot into a car, a truck, or even a spaceship is a little bit more tricky than I thought. So I'm going to spend some more time trying to figure out a way to do it. And the armature doesn't really like it either, because when you fold it, it sort of likes to fold it in the center of the pivot points. And it doesn't look anything like a transformer or a car or a truck. So I might even have to buy a little toy and play around with it, see how it folds, and do some mental origami. And I'll see what I can come up with, and we'll see which episode. Eventually, I'm going to do a transformer, I'm pretty sure. So I don't want to break my promise. I'll just postpone it a little bit. Alright, so if I'm not doing a transformer, what am I going to do? If you know me by now, then you know I've got a little secret love for it. Floating islands, and as I said before, that was one of the episodes I didn't practice anything for. I did a floating island in episode 6, and it's been 40 episodes in there between. And I've picked up a lot of new techniques in the comments. A lot of you have been kind enough to share your knowledge and skills. So I managed to improve a little bit on my repertoire of commands and techniques. So hopefully I've picked up a few things to speed up the process and do something a little bit better this time around. I'm going to be using the gradient texture for this one, and check out the description if you want to download that one, and that's what I use to UV map this thing. And I've also got that Learn Low Poly Modeling in Blender video if you want to pick up a little bit more on the techniques on how to do the coloring and the quick edits and things like that. So check the description for the video and the palettes if you want to download it. I think that's it. I think we're going to start it. We're going to make a float. Why is it not called a flying island? It's not really floating. I think a normal island looks like it's floating. This one is going to be in the sky. Ready? Steady! Go! No, I missed it. Ready, steady, go! There we go. Auto mirror. Tab into edit mode. Select that face. Control snap it down. A. Scale Y 4. Control R. Loop cut 8 times. 2 for face select. No, edge select. And then I'll shape it a little bit into a... I'm going to make room for a pond here. And we'll make it shaped like a floating island. Ha! No one knows what those look like. So I'm free to do what I want here. Okay, edge select to there. That's it. Control R, loop cut, S to scale it. Bring it down to here. Face select, control select there. S to scale that one down. E to extrude, S to scale. 2 for edge select, control select it to there. Move that one down. 3 for side view. 1 on the keypad for vertex. And O for proportional. And the mouse wheel, we can change the shape a little bit here. Make it look like that floating island look. Just Google it. Okay, that's it. A to select everything, 3 to go face select, and now we're going to do UV project from view. Scale it down, scale X only. G, move it to this brown gradient for the dirt. That's it. And then tab out of edit mode, Control A to apply that modifier, and then Control select all the top vertices here, or faces. E to extrude. Okay, O for proportional off, S to scale, E to extrude, S to scale, and S to scale X. Control plus a few times, G to move it to a green color. And now we're going to make that little pond here. So shift select a bunch of these. Top view, I to inset, maybe to there. And then I to inset again, move it down. Control plus on the keypad again to grow the selection. Let's make some sandy beach color. Control minus, and then a blue watercolor here. Top view, O for proportional, 2 for edge select, and then make it shaped a little bit less like a perfect shaped pond. Gonna be a wonky pond. Wonky pond. Sounds like a new game. Okay, that's it. And now I'm gonna make a tree. So I'm gonna do into vertex select here. Shift D to duplicate this vertex. O for proportional off. side view, 3 on the keypad. And now control right click to extrude these verts. So I'm just extruding the verts now. 7:38 on the clock there. So control right click to extrude these. And maybe one more here for good measure. Not that I'm measuring anything, but anyway, I think that's something you say. Okay, and L to select that, P to separate by selection, and got an itchy nose here, good for Corona. But I'm home, I'm okay, I should be safe. I should be focusing more like. Add modifier, skin, tab A to select all the verts, control A to scale them down. Select this one and do Shift G and select amount of connecting edges. That should pick all the endpoints. Control A. Okay, I can go back into proportional now. Control A. And then scale them down to there. Alt Z to see through. This one at the bottom needs to be scaled up again. So there we go. It's going to be our tree base. And Control A to apply that one. Alt Z to see again. L to select all the linked. And then we'll do the same thing here. Project from view, A, scale, G, scale it down a bit more. It's going to be the tree color. And here I'm going to do some green stuff. So I'm going to select these outmost branch edges here. Shift select these faces. Shift D to duplicate them. Right click to snap them back. S to scale them. Okay, I actually selected an extra face there by mistake. So try again. Shift D to duplicate them. S to scale. E to extrude. S to scale. Okay, I've got proportional on. S to scale. E to extrude. E to extrude. S to scale. And then L to select all the linked there. G to move it to a light green again. Maybe there. 3 for face select. And double click a Alt and Shift select to get all these loop ones. And then do Alt E to extrude along face normals. S to scale them down. And then I'm going to do comma now and switch to normal and then rotate around the, and then press Z. Okay, that was wrong. Rotate Z. No, Y then. I want them facing down a little bit. There we go. E to extrude, S to scale, rotate Y, and have them face down a little bit more. And E to extrude one more time, S to scale them down, and G to move it. Tab. That should do. That's some sort of a tree thing. How am I doing? 455. Okay, let's make a bridge here as well then. So I'll do, I'll steal this one. Shift D to duplicate that one, move it up, scale Y. I'm gonna grab that face, top view, G to move it. G to move it to there. Scale that one. Can't have a blue bridge, can we? So I'll do P to separate this selection. And then do tab L to select the linked, G to move it to a brown color for the plank here, maybe there. And this is a separate one now, yeah. So let's do Control R loop cut, maybe that many planks. Select these, Control I to inset. I'll do I again to get the individual ones there. There we go. Control I now to flip the selection and delete faces. And then A to select all these and Alt E to extrude along face normals. That's our planks. L to select, okay, A to select all of them. A to go into one to select vertex. Mesh, transform. Let's do randomize. That's too much. Scroll it down. Just a slight difference there. Okay, and let's select this one, O, and then Alt O to go for connected or non-connected. And G to move these so I can get a bit more my famous wonky term here. Wonky bridge. New game name. Wonky Kong. Okay, let's go put some end posts here as well. How am I doing for time now? I got a bit carried away. So 317. Shift D to duplicate that. I'm on individual origins. O to select not proportional. And then Alt E to extrude along face normals. Select these top faces. And E to extrude these. S to scale them down. And then let's put some planks here as well then. Shift D, E to extrude, and top view, E to extrude. Oh no, G to move it just across. And they don't have to be perfect. And they're not. So rotate, top view, rotate. Okay, I've got 236. Let's put some stones on here as well then. I'll do tab out of edit mode there, shift right click to put the cursor there, shift A, mesh cube. Select it and control 2 to subdivide it, control A, select this one, shift select this one, control L and copy the linked material over, tab into edit mode, A, scale, I'm going to do 0 on this one and then just pick a gray here for the stone. S to scale it down, 1 on the keypad, okay, O for proportional first. And then just shape it into a stone. Usually you can do a modifier this place, but I save some time and just do it super simple here. G, okay, I've got proportional. So G to move it to here. On the side that you can actually see it. Rotate, G, G. And then O for proportional again. G to move that on in. G, G. Okay, that should do. And then we'll do L to select the link, shift D. We'll put a stone up here as well. It's a bit dangerous with the proportional sometimes. Catches you out. And there we go. Proportional back on. Alto to get the linked proportional only, so it only affects this stone now, since these are the only vertices that are connected. L, shift D, rotate, scale. G, G, there. How am I doing? 1 minute to go. Rotate. It's a bit empty on this side. So let's do, let's steal some vegetation up here. L to select the link, shift D, rotate, rotate, G, rotate. I'm just stealing these and turning them upside down. So that's, I've got some shadow issues here. Maybe there's an overlapping vert somewhere. 40 seconds. Let's do some more here. L, shift D, rotate. Let's steal it to over here as well. Shift, it looked a bit empty here as well. Shift D, rotate. 1, 3 to get the face select. O for proportional, and then you can just make these a little bit. 17 seconds. R works for proportional rotation here as well to get some rotate said. G, 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 L, scale it down, G. Oh, that's it. Time's up. How are we doing? Yeah, I'll switch it off. How about that? Dismiss. Okay, so here's episode 47 of the 10-minute modeling challenge, the new floating island here. And here it was episode 6 of the 10-minute modeling challenge with a different floating island, a waterfall here or something, and a tree. So I'm quite happy with the difference now, I'd say. The waterfall didn't look like much of a waterfall, but at least I had a waterfall. I didn't actually have a waterfall, but I replaced it with a pond, I guess, so I'm okay with that. Stones look a little bit... I had more stones as well, but at least I've got fewer stones now. And the tree looked a little bit more like I used to do my low poly trees, and I used a different palette altogether there. But overall, I'm quite happy with the new one. The tree technique I picked up earlier this year with the extruding and using the skin modifier, that's quite a good way to get a better shaped tree, I'd say. And then Alt-E for extruding, a new one, and the randomized mesh and a lot of proportional editing here. So maybe I'll do some bonus tips this week as well. For some of you, it's going to be repetition because you've heard quite a few of these before. The tip this week is going to be what I did with a tree, I think, again. So if I go tab into edit mode here, 1 on the keypad to get into vertex select, that's the same as clicking up here. So if I say 1, and if I don't mention keypad, because that's actually setting this view to front view, but 1 on the keyboard, not the keypad, switches to this vertex. And then I just picked any random vertex here. But I wanted to start from this height, so I picked any of these ones here. And then I went to top view, and then I did Shift D to duplicate it. And that just picks that vertex and moves it somewhere. And then I pressed 3 on the keypad to get into side view. And then here's a good trick. Hold the control key, and then just right click. And that extrudes that vert with an edge. And then I controlled right click. I just held the control key and made that extrusion there. Control right click. And when then I had this bit of a skeleton here, I have to apply a modifier, so I couldn't keep it in the same mesh as this. So I selected it. I pressed L to select all the linked, all these separate ones. The reason why it only picks these when I press L for linked is because this vertex here is free from the ground here. If I press G to move it, you can see that it's free. So it's not connected to anything. That's why L to select the linked worked. And then I needed to press P to separate this into a new selection. And that just brings it out into a new object so that I could tab out of edit mode and then I can select this new object. And then I went to the modifier tab here, the little spanner looking thing. And then I went add modifier and then I selected the skin modifier. And it looks a little bit flat now because I rotated the viewport as I did my control right clicking to extrude. So this is looking a little bit flatter. And then when you've got this skin modifier on, I pressed tab to go into edit mode for it. Alt Z as well if you want to see through. You can see it a little bit better with X-ray, Alt Z. And then I pressed L to select all these linked. And you're tempted to press, you might not be tempted, but I was tempted to press S to scale these, but that scales the whole thing. And that's not what you want. To apply scaling for this skin modifier, you have to press Control A. Why do I speak like this? I'm sure you're not thick. Anyway, Control A scales these. It's basically like applying a scale to the vertex itself. And then I selected this end. Since I had multiple ends, I could have shift selected all the ends. But I selected one and I pressed Shift G to do amount of connecting edges. And that picks all the ones that only have, they're like dead ends basically. So that was a bit of a faster way to pick all the dead ends. And then I pressed Control A again. And I scale these down, and I've got proportional up here, and I used the mouse wheel to control how much I should do it. And then I selected this one again and Control A and made it bigger again because I didn't want it to be skinny. Alt Z to see here again. Finally, what I did as well was I did Control A. You have to be out of edit mode tab, and then I hover over here. You could either go on this little drop down here and click apply, but I usually just hover over here. In 2.9 and onwards, they've done it like so. It's like this little drop down, but you can press Control A to apply that one. So now it's turned it into this mesh, and if it's a little bit too detailed, you can always apply a decimate modifier here as well and drag this ratio down if you want to have it, and then Control A. See, that reduces the vertices because this one is a little bit high, maybe. That was a little bit fast, so let's throw in one more tip as well. I'll go. Another thing that I did was if I go tab into edit mode on this one, I pressed 3 to go into face select here instead. Face select. I click on these, shift select, shift and click. And then here, I just wanted to show you this, that if you press R to rotate, okay, I'll press either O or click up here to get rid of proportional. If I press comma, normally you're going to be on this global orientation here. And if I press R to rotate now, you see all of them are rotating in the viewport's right direction. So all of them are tilting like over towards the sun or something. And what I wanted to do was rotate them individually like a flower opening. So I pressed comma and then I went to normal here. And a normal, if you don't know what a normal is, it's the opposite of the not normal. Okay. And if you have a face like this, not like this, but like this, like a polygon face, itchy face, for example, then the normal is facing perpendicular to this face, not this face, to this face. So if you have a face like this, the normal is like that. If you have this, that's awkward. If like this, then the normal is like that. Unless you want the normal to go like that, of course. Then it's the opposite. That makes no sense either. Anyway, it's not like that, it's like that. So by pressing comma and doing normal here, now when I press R to rotate, it's actually rotating around its normal. And then I can press X, Y, or Z. And I think I always got mixed up, but I think I press Y. You can see that now when I rotate it, it rotates all to its individual face. So it'll face away, and then I did E to extrude, R to rotate, and I press Y again, and it rotates in its own Y direction, E to extrude. So that was a quicker way to just do that as well. Spent a lot of time there explaining something in a really poor way, in a way which probably made more sense when I did it in the video, in the 10-minute video. And I tend to drag on when I try to explain something in detail. So you should have just watched the 10-minute part, and you've got screencast keys and you're a smart person, so you'd pick it up anyway. Anyway, now you know what a normal is, you know what a normal face is, and this is not a normal face, but you'll have to live with that one. All right, that's going to be it for this week, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video and come back next week. Come back next week. Yeah, I said it wrong. Come back next week for episode 48 of the 10-minute modeling challenge. And hit the like button if you liked the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Press the little bell button. Bell buttons? That's all a while ago since I said bell buttons. Is it bell bottom or bell button? Belly button? I don't know. Bell button. Now I'm mixed up. Now I'm confused. Press the little bell button for the notifications. Head over to my Patreon page as well if you want to download this scene and all the other 10-minute modeling builds that I've done. It's going to be the tutorial tier that can access this one, and I've got a lot more content there as well that you can download. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm going to shut up now. So take care, and I'll see you then. Bye.